Hello, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Neha, and I lead strategy and operations for security solutions for Microsoft Asia. Today, we will be talking about the modern SecOps platform that can help you anticipate and stop attacks with AI driven defense that unifies prevention, detection, and response. Now, today's top areas of risk remain quite familiar. However, they're evolving in ways that make them harder to stop. Identity compromises remain the most common entry point. Once attackers are in, they exploit exposed paths, whether it is misconfigurations, over permissioned accounts, or unmonitored assets. Attack paths also involve quite a bit of internet exposure. Now, the traditional SOC teams are unable to scale fast enough to stay ahead. In fact, on average, it now takes 72 minutes for an attacker to move laterally after a user clicks a phishing link. Now, 72 minutes is an average, which means we are seeing this happen in much lesser time as well. It takes about 292 days to identify and contain breaches. And 73% of cyber experts admit that they've missed, ignored, or failed to respond to high priority security alerts. Only 41% of users are actually using multi-factor authentication, whereas we do know that using MFA drops the risk of compromise by 92%. Why does this actually happen? There are three things that we see. First and foremost is technical debt, which is the single greatest source of exposure. Attackers are taking advantage of security silos, and attacks are happening in seconds and minutes, not hours and days. With the rise of generative AI, cloud computing, and explosive growth of the cybercrime economy, it really does feel like we've entered a new era of cybersecurity. At Microsoft, we believe using AI can help effectively prevent and respond to known threats. And our mission is to shift the focus of the SOC team to exclusively hunt for and mitigate emerging threats. This underlines our approach to build a predictive SOC. We focus on four key pillars. First is to be able to predict attack paths and automatically harden assets. Next, we want to be able to contain breaches with self-defense and attack hardening. This would empower analysts to hunt with a context-rich experience using their creativity and critical thinking. The fourth pillar here is to continuously optimize with closed loop feedback system. These four being our priority areas and focus pillars. We've been on a journey to unify the foundational tools security teams use to prevent, detect, respond, and defend against threats. This unification not only helps drive operational efficiency and lowers costs, but also delivers better overall protection. It starts with threat intelligence, comprehensive threat insights, which can help you identify your exposure so that reduced exposure can across your digital estate can help you mitigate anything that comes your way. So threat intelligence, leading with exposure management, and then comes cloud security to protect you from code to runtime. We then go into the layer of extended detection and response so that protection can span across endpoints, identities, email, SaaS applications, workloads, and data. And then to cap it up, we have Microsoft Sentinel security platform, which brings together all of your security data, any source, any format, and storage location for you to have flexible detection response across your digital estate. Bringing all of these tools together enables your team to adapt and pivot like attackers. For example, with graph-based predictive modeling, your team can view your environment like an attacker does, seeing how vulnerabilities can be chained together in an attack chain. This is beyond typical continuous threat exposure management. This is contextual, prioritized insight into how you are being targeted and the potential impact of a successful breach. And when you harden parts of your environment, your exposure will be updated in near real time. So, to help your organization anticipate and stop attacks faster, our AI powered SOC solution predicts attacks, detects emerging threats, and rapidly remediates them with automated response, all while continuously optimizing SOC operations. Now, before we actually deep dive into these four pillars, I'd like to show you what I'm talking about. This here is our unified SOC platform where everything comes together in one place. There is threat intelligence powering your exposure profile, combining signals from your entire infrastructure, whether it is from identities, endpoints, data, apps, or cloud infrastructure, helping the platform to tackle the known threats automatically so that your SOC specialist can focus on specific incidents through investigation and hunting. And if you're leveraging our human services of Defender experts, it also shows you how many incidents our experts are resolving for you. Now, we essentially start with exposure management. This is where you have a view of how your organization's exposure maps out, pulling all the information together based on the threat intelligence from outside and the risk to your critical assets, predicting attack paths and potential and identified risk and incidents. So you have the ability to take a risk-based approach to security. Then we go into investigation and response. So your SOC teams can then dive into specific incidents for investigation, including those that the defender automatically disrupted. The attack graph helps you to see the entry point and potential blast radius. And as they say, the graph is only as powerful as the underlying platform. And this is where Defender, Sentinel, plus Copilot shine together. You see here how the platform links separate alerts into this one incident, provides you with the attack path through Copilot, shows you the summary of how and why Defender disrupted the attack, gives you the ability to triage the remediation steps taken. Of course, giving humans the ability to take additional action. At that, there is further recommendation provided on what the SOC analyst can do so that this doesn't happen in the future. And then, while all that is great, we additionally have capability to optimize the SOC so more can happen with less cycles spent. With that, let's go back and look at the pillars as a deep dive. You've seen a preview. Now let's deep dive into what you just got a sneak peek of. Starting with the first pillar. To help your organization anticipate and stop attacks faster, our AI powered SOC solution predicts attacks, detects emerging threats, and rapidly remediates them with automated response, all while continuously optimizing SOC operations. With today's incredibly complex attack surface, it's not enough to just have broad visibility. The security team needs to understand how every asset relates to those around it, how they interact, and what they're sharing between each other. Every single one of these components have their own vulnerabilities and risks that can be exploited by attackers. This means a single entry point could enable an attacker to take many paths through the environment. We can't just focus on securing individual choke points. For example, if you lock down a cloud-based entity, an attacker could still potentially scan the network, obtain credentials, exploit trust relationships between systems, and exploit access to other shared resources by spreading malicious scripts, accessing sensitive data, or more. By taking the point of view of an attacker, one that moves laterally through networks, we can uncover the entire attack surface, explore attackers' potential routes and their blast radius, and tackle known exposures with a prioritized queue. This point of view can better help your security teams protect your organization's most valuable assets. Moving to proactive protection with continuous threat exposure management helps organizations continuously discover, access, and harden assets, understand their exposure to specific types of attacks and threat actors, uncover top entry points and targets, and manage exposure from a single point of view and set of KPIs. That takes us to step number 2 around detecting emerging threats in real time. The average SOC receives on average over 4,000 alerts per day, and yet the capacity to investigate is only 100 alerts. Manual alert triage costs organizations 3.3 billion annually in the US alone. Additionally, ransomware attacks are accelerating, with attacks now running within 15 minutes from initial breach to device encryption. And here at Microsoft, we expect it to continue to accelerate. This is a recent attack that was disrupted for one of our customers. As you can see, we are able to disrupt the attack and disable the identified compromised user in under 20 minutes. Now, automatic attack disruption is the built-in self-defense capability to automatically shut down cyber attacks. It helps disrupt advanced multi-stage, multi-domain attacks like ransomware, identifies the compromised assets and contains them in near real time, and predicts attack paths to prevent future lateral movement within the organization. Again, here is an example where this is a real life customer testimonial where the company was saved after a C-suite account was compromised and the attack was disrupted within 17 minutes. Today, we can disrupt a wide variety of scenarios spanning across ransomware, hands-on keyboard, business email compromise, and attacker in the middle scenarios. Ransomware attacks have an average time of disruption of 3 minutes. And just recently, we were able to identify that we've disrupted 32,000 incidents per month. We are also able to disable 120,000 user accounts in the last 6 months. And we saved 180,000 devices from attacks in the last 6 months. All right, now pillar number 3, which is rapidly remediating with automated response. Our customers are able to drive SOC efficiency with a guided, context-rich experience. There is ability to easily understand how the attacker went from compromise to target. Use guided response, accelerate investigation and remediation actions, and accelerate mean time to respond by 30% with Security Copilot, as well as reduce labor by 85%. SOC leaders need a comprehensive, interconnected view of the digital estate to address sophisticated attacks. Even common phishing attacks are multi-vector, moving across common silos like email, users, and devices. In this scenario, an attacker sends a well-crafted email to one of the employees who unknowingly downloaded malware onto their system. The malware established a connection back to the attacker's command and control server, allowing the attacker to scan the network for vulnerable endpoints. They discovered an outdated server and exploited its vulnerability to gain access. Using various techniques, the attacker obtained the login credentials of a privileged user and moved laterally within the network, looking for customer data that is stored on an AWS S3 bucket, perhaps to encrypt in a ransomware scheme or to exfiltrate and sell on the dark web. The SOC analyst gets the phishing email alert and then endpoint alert, but before they can fully investigate, attacker has made their way to high-value assets. Now with our tool, as soon as the analyst gets engaged, they can understand the full picture and take precise actions like isolated affected systems or blocking malicious IP addresses. Let's take a look at the phishing triage agent in Microsoft Defender portal. That's one example of how SOC productivity can be supercharged with agentic AI. Security analysts typically face hundreds of alerts per day and spend tons of time sifting through them. Phishing alerts in particular are overwhelming, and most end up being false positives because users report phishing when it's usually benign. The phishing triage agent autonomously triggers and triages phishing alerts to determine if the incident is a genuine threat or a false alarm with precision. As you can see on the slide into the demo, 95% of the incidents were cleared up and resolved by the phishing agent itself. What makes this agent different? It continuously learns and evolves based on user feedback to ensure accuracy, all in natural language with the user in control. The agent provides full transparency for its reasoning and visually maps out each step taken to reach the conclusion. And teams can adjust decisions as needed, which then provides feedback that it will learn from and remember the next time it encounters a similar situation. That takes us to the last pillar around continuously optimizing SOC operations. Building a closed feedback loop for your SOC operations means learning from incidents to make posture improvements that build stronger protection and accelerate your operations. SOC optimizations inside Microsoft Defender can help your SOC team to work more effectively by providing tailored, actionable recommendations. These suggestions help reduce costs without compromising security and ensure comprehensive protection by identifying missing security controls and data. SOC optimizations close coverage gaps against threats by focusing on critical areas and improving overall security. This means less time is spent on manual analysis and more efficient operations. And to help ensure you're getting the most out of your data, SOC optimizations offer guidance to manage costs, protection, and data value, ensuring peak efficiency and the best possible protection. In summary, SOC optimizations can help your SOC operate more efficiently, reduce costs, and improve security coverage. By leveraging these recommendations, your SOC can handle the latest threats and provide the best protection for your organization. Now, let's discuss how Microsoft Sentinel simplifies onboarding with its flexible connector ecosystem. There are, in fact, about 350 native data connectors that bring together assets, activity, and content data. You're able to configure a custom connector in as little as 2 hours. This is just a partial list of the connectors that are available today. Our library is constantly evolving and it expands through our engineering efforts and through the broader community and partner ecosystem. Now, we consistently hear from our security teams that they are under extreme pressure, having to navigate an evolving threat landscape while also facing skills gap and limited resources put our customers at risk. We are here to help with expertise when and where you need it. Along with industry-leading products, Microsoft offers a comprehensive suite of security services backed by leading experts. From incident response and cybersecurity transformation to managed detection and response, proactive threat hunting, and technical support, we act as a force multiplier for security teams in your organization, helping you secure the organization and stay ahead of emerging threats so you can focus on what matters most. Over the past year, we've helped more than 4,500 customers tackle security challenges and achieve security goals through our professional services, which include architecture guidance, deployment support, and incident response. Our incident response team has been on the front lines of some of the most complex and high-profile cyber attacks since 2008. Through our expert-led managed services, you can reinforce your SOC and reduce operational overhead, saving up to 50% additional headcount to achieve 24/7 coverage. And with direct access to security engineering for deployment and issue resolution support, organizations can mitigate risks and improve their overall security posture, leading to a 40% reduction in customer-facing downtime in events. Last year, we commissioned a total economic impact study to measure the benefit that our customers see with our integrated SIEM and XDR solution. The results are in and they're significant. Organizations are saving up to $1.6 million annually from consolidating solutions. They're also seeing a 65% reduction in time needed to investigate threats and an 88% reduction in response time. And they're 60% less likely to experience a breach. Additionally, onboarding new employees takes just 9% of the time compared to before. When asked, organizations shared how the native integration is delivering tremendous improvements to their ability to see threats, acknowledge incidents, and respond to these threats. Not only that, Defender customers can save more money and get more protection by extending XDR to modern SIEM to better secure their entire digital estate. Microsoft 365 customers can benefit with up to 5 MB per user per day of free data ingestion into Microsoft Sentinel. They can save up to $2,200 per month on Microsoft Sentinel for example, a 3,500 seat deployment. This offer applied automatically to customers' bills without any enrollment or nomination process. Here is a customer testimonial for you. Quintet Private Bank builds a future-proof security operations center powered by Sentinel and Defender, and they see radical transformation in the way they approach security. The solution is built on the Microsoft Security Platform, and it largely excels in its ability to have one ecosystem bringing together different parts from on-premises systems to Sentinel, M365 Defender, Azure Arc, and Azure Log Analytics. The customer has seen 100% increase in detected security events, a 50% decrease in false positives, and a 240% increase in MITRE ATT&CK security coverage. Similarly, here's an example from e-commerce. E-commerce presents a valuable target for cybercriminals, and global e-commerce company QNet recognized the need to adopt a more efficient and secure IT infrastructure. Before, 25% of their infrastructure was secured, and after, 100% coverage is what they got with increased visibility and productivity. So let's summarize on what should we do next. You're able to discover latest trends and best practices in cyber threat protection and AI for cybersecurity as a next step by following the link above. You can also request trial access and detect and disrupt threats in real time using this trial in your organization. You also can stay up to date on the latest capabilities and functionalities with the Microsoft Virtual Ninja training. And you can add Defender Experts XDR to lower SecOps costs and reduce in-house burden with this support from Microsoft. That wraps up today's session. Thank you for your time today, and I hope these resources are helpful in you being able to take the next steps. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a good day ahead.